is something totally new in football ecosystem. We're starting, I don't know where the presentation is. No, I need to go back 2 slides. First of all, what UEFA is, why we are here. I'm the Executive Director of Social and Environmental Sustainability, and also now appointed as UEFA Special Delegate for Euro 2032 in Italy. What UEFA is? UEFA is the European Union for Football Association, 55 members, 850 employees, 5.5 billion turnover. 97% of turnover is redistributed to the football ecosystem. 20 million registered players, 21.2 billion interaction, media interaction only for our big Champions League. And last is 1 billion investment in women's football for the next 10 years. We organize 23 competitions. The most important is the Champions League, very famous, and also the Euro. We define a strategy in 2024 that is united for success. The scope is to lead the game across the European, inspiring all the generation and to including all the society. Sustainability is a new concept in football. We start in 2021. I will explain you later how we approach the football with sustainability, how link sustainability with football and vice versa. In the global strategy, in the UEFA global strategy, probably I need to remove a little bit because of the seats, because I think it's not clear for all of you. We have 7 pillars in the UEFA main strategy. In 4, but it's could be important for the. Thank you. Technical adjustments. 7 pillars in our main UEFA main strategy 24-23. The sustainability is at the core of 4 of the 7 pillars. Be at the core of society, ensure opportunity for all, culture of sustainability, and work together to the highest governance standards. The concept of ESG is totally embedded in our United for Success. We're starting from a concept in 2021, starting from the idea what sustainability is not, before to go deeply in what sustainability is. For us, is not the same as a philanthropy or charity activities. Is not a PR or a communication exercise. Is not an impression management. We need to stay far away from green and blue washing. Is not only tick the box. Is not being green, and is not a cost. This was in the beginning of 21 when I started the role after being the UEFA vice president for 4 years and CEO of Italian FA. I started for the idea to say we need to understand what we are looking for. This is what we decided not to consider as not necessary. What for sustainability is for us is about focus on ESG, the 3 big pillars, environmental, social, and governance, is anticipating and adapting, of course, the needs and the expectation of our stakeholder and also broader of the civil society, is ROI mindset that is not only return on investment, but also risk of inaction. We need to combine the same medals. One phase is return on investment, the second medal is risk of inaction. And then, of course, complying with the growing regulatory requirements, and is collaboration and innovation with partner institutions based on mutual conviction and trust. This was some 6 or 7 keywords of our strategy: anticipating, adapting, innovating, reduce risk, creating and protect values, measure impact, and building resilience. At that point, in December 2021, after 1 year of analysis and analysis of what sustainability is in football, in sports, we decided to accelerate, but with a process, a clear process. The mission is to inspire, to activate, and to accelerate collective action. I will mention many times collective action because I think it's the core of sustainability. We cannot do nothing alone. We cannot solve the problem of the planet alone. We cannot be solve the social impact, the social problem of our society. And we started with a new process. This process, we adapt this process in UEFA, and immediately after, I will show you later, we use the same process across all 55 members, across all the more than 400 clubs of UEFA, and for also at amateur level. Commit the organization was the first step. The second is I appointed a dedicated expert team. The third is develop a strategy. The fourth is implemented an action plan, but of course, step by step. The fifth was measure and analysis your data, your KPIs. And the sixth is report and communicate. What we find at the beginning? We find only the step 4, actions. Random action across football. Actions, random actions, without a strategic approach, without a team, without the commitment from the board or from the This is the process that we use for to build our strategy, and this is the process that now we apply in our system. I will talk only about the step 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is a strategic process. We analyze the football context in Europe. We identify our guiding principle. We articulate our action plan, our activities. We define topics, targets, and KPIs. In meantime, we use also the stakeholder consultation. We didn't it alone. We make a large consultation with our stakeholder, and I'll show you later the map. And after the approval of the UEFA Congress, we move with an action plan, and now we are in the most exciting phase of actions, in action, with measurement and reporting. These are our stakeholder map. We're starting from the idea what football is, what are our engagement. UEFA is at the center. We have the 55 member associations that are our 55 national associations with the clubs and leagues. The first row of our is composed by the football stakeholders, players, coaches, officials, referees, volunteers, and the second row is all the other stakeholders, from sponsor to institution to media to communities, government, fans, suppliers. After that, we launched our strategy. The strategy, the name is Strength Through Unity, is a clear message to our system. We identify 11 policies to work on, 7 linked to the human rights area, and 4 linked to the environmental topics. Why they are together? Because at the end, we analyzed and we understood that the 11 policies, the social policies and the environmental policies, they talk each other. They work each other. They support each other. For this reason, they are separate targets, with the dedicated KPIs, but at the end, they live together. Infrastructure sustainability is totally linked to the football for our abilities or to health and well-being. All these 11 policies are going through 5 big areas of action. The first is our internal organization. We need to apply sustainability in our internal organization. If we want to inspire the other organization, we need to lead by example. For this year, all these 11 policies are embedded in our strategy, in our daily life. The second is UEFA events. As I mentioned before, we have 23 competitions per year that we organize, from the big Euro to Champions League, but to arriving to under 17, men and women, and also futsal and futsal competition. Our members are the key part of our cascade strategy football ecosystem, and partner and society was the third ring and hour. This, of course, everything is aligned with the SDGs, UN SDGs. This is a total new approach. We launched it, and then what we did. We have a short video in 1.5 minutes. You can find everything that I mentioned before.
Social and environmental issues are increasingly challenging our society and impact the sport we all love. European football must come together to inspire, activate and accelerate sustainable action as one team using a common language and a long-term vision. UEFA has developed a sustainability strategy with 11 policies addressing human rights and the environment. These are implemented in 5 areas of action and accelerated by clear targets and measurable KPIs. This approach acts as an example for member associations, leagues and clubs to develop their own strategies. We invite all football partners to mobilise their communities on this ambitious journey, because only in unity can the strength of our sport inspire millions to drive positive, sustainable change.
I hope that the video is helping us to understand what is our commitment in sustainability. We are working with 3 levels of our main stakeholders. Our 55 members, as I mentioned before. Now, all the 55 member associations, they have 1 sustainability manager, 1 child and youth protection manager officer, and 1 disability accessibility officer. This is mandatory rules from UEFA to receive the ATRIC fund. You need to deal with these three big areas. The cascading effort is going through the National Association to our professional clubs, through the ECA, that the European Club Association, now also is embedded in our UEFA regulations that is mandatory for all the clubs that are taking part of our competition to have the sustainability manager, to have the sustainability strategy, and to have the sustainability action plan. Why? We will talk later, probably during the one-to-one discussion, because I think everything is embedded in the football ecosystem. We need to try to embed sustainability. This is also to engage new business opportunity, to embed our commercial partner, to engage our 2.5 billion fans around the world. And the third is our European leagues, that 17 of them are engaging in the process with us. I will want to give the last 5 minutes, only a few highlights on only 5 or 6 of our policies. I don't want to go deeply in all of them. You can find all the information on our website. On child and youth protection, health and well-being, EDI with the anti-racism, equality, inclusion policy, the climate advocacy, and sustainability. Every year we publish the Respect Report, where we publish all the data, all the information, all the KPIs, all the targets that we achieved and what we didn't achieve. It's important to be transparent in the process. This is why we publish and we are doing it. Starting from child and youth protection, the objective is, of course, the safeguarding to everyone under age of 18 who plays or participates in football. It's not only our 80.5 million under 18 players that we have registered in our across our 55 association is close to 20 million under 18, but also the children that participate in the competition as fans or in our activities. Some actions, because it's important, as I mentioned, to have a clear vision, to have clear targets, KPIs, but also to put in place actions. And the action in this case, we have an online safeguarding platform that are more or less 50,000 site visitors per year, with the 54,000 courses completed, translated in 13 languages that are the main languages spoken in Europe. There is a toolkit to implement the measure at domestic level, and we set also the safeguarding guidelines for all the competitions. Then we have I took an example, health and well-being policy. The objective is, of course, to use our platform to support healthier style and positive habits. We launched the Take Care program that is based on the 6 modules: physical activity, nutrition, mental health. Rio Ferdinand, that is a part of the World Summit in Hong Kong, is the narrator of the mental health documentary. And we are launching the digital addiction, substance awareness and road safety documentary and toolkit. And also we create a working football for the older people, working football toolkit to support the DNAs and clubs to go also to increase the base of our base. Take Care program, targeting on with the children and young people, but also to influence the parents, the guardians, the teachers, the sport coaches and staff, because it's impossible to address the messages or to go deeply in the football ecosystem if you don't go through the pyramid. The base of the pyramid are the parents. Then we have the football stakeholder, the coaches, because the coaches every day meet the children. They need to teach. They need to be also the good example to try to deal with all of them. And with the 6 modules I mentioned, and working football, as I mentioned before. The anti-discrimination, of course, we need to raise our awareness, build engagement, identify commitment towards fighting and preventing any form of discrimination. It's not an easy task, but we know that it's a very ambitious, but we are dealing with it. With also in this case, with the educational toolkit by football for football, content targets parents, also in this case teachers and coaches and staff. We are using the same system that we are using for Take Care, but also for the other policies. The topics that we are dealing with are homophobia, refugee discrimination, sexism, racism, online abuse, and also disability. And in November, we will launch our DEI toolkit for all the football stakeholders. Now moving to we took some example in our 3 areas on social. I didn't go through all of them, all those 7, but now going to climate action is quite important to understand how we deal with it, because climate is a big important topic that is coming in Europe, is coming very, very deeply also in our conscience with our children, and we decided to go with a concrete plan. We launched 2 years ago our UEFA carbon footprint reduction plan. How our internal organization must deal with the carbon footprint to try to do the best in our organization, and then how to inspire also our clubs and our national association. We create a tool, a carbon footprint calculator. We provide to all the national association clubs and leagues our calculator for free, and we are teaching them and we are engaging with them to use the calculator to make the measurement of their own carbon footprint. And then, that is the first step, measure the carbon footprint, and then going with a reduction plan. The tool is available, is for everyone, and the climate, and we create also a climate fund. We are moving away from compensation, the system of compensation. We are investing in mitigation, in mitigation, and we are doing this with a dedicated climate fund available for all the national associations and all the projects linked to football across our community. The second is event sustainability. As I mentioned before, we organize 23 events per year. I think I'm still in time, correct? 23 events. For each event, we have an ESG matrix. From under 17 to the big Euro, we have the same matrix, the same concepts for all our competitions. How we are using the matrix? Of course, there is different investments. For each, Germany, the largest investment ever in sustainability for UEFA was more than 30 million euros was invested in our ESG strategy in Germany. But we are using the same approach with all events, working with the national association that are the LOC at that level to try also to create a legacy at the domestic level, how to deal with. We have this ESG matrix. We integrate, of course, the same design for all the competition. We create an event sustainability performance evaluation system. At the end of each competition, we have our evaluation system that is certified by a third party to understand if we reach the target or not, if it was approved or not, our sustainability goals. And of course, transparent communication, because at the end of the season, we publish for each event, we publish our ESG report. This is the last slide. Of course, sustainability, a lot of football, soccer people think that is something far from football. I think that is absolutely not. It's totally integrated. We touch a billion of people every day. We involve a billion of football players every day. We need to increase the knowledge of our stakeholders. We need to lead by example, as I mentioned before, to reach the base of the pyramid. It's important, the cascada effect. Sustainability is not a top-down approach. The goal is that from top down, in the future will be a bottom up. I think only together with all our stakeholders, we can create the clear objective also to engaging also the commercial partner that are even more, day by day, even more involved in it. These are the outlook of, the last slides, the outlook. We will continue to drive in change and to raise the bar of sustainability in football, investing. We want, as I mentioned before, a top-down and bottom-up impulses. We want to anticipate what are the civil society needs and not be only with a reactive approach, but also to anticipating, to create an impact. Engagement is crucial, the engagement of the football community, including the fans that are very important. Engaging with all the other confederation sisters, the other 5 confederation sisters, from a big relation with the FC is on the way. The key steps is always commitment, person, strategy, action, measurement, and reporting. We need all the 6 steps together. It's impossible to do if we miss one of these points. What we did in 2021, when we launched a strategy, we say it's important to set the right strategy for 10 years. The approach is a long-term investment, but in 2025, we need to update our strategy because the sustainability in 21 was totally different what is today. Agility in terms of change also the approach and change also the strategy. The strategy is not a closed framework, it's an open framework. What we did, we will launch in February, we will present in our Congress in Belgium, in Brussels, the update of the strategy for the next 5 years from 26 to 2030. This is I think is in 20 minutes, our 5 years journey, the last 5 years of my life, because sustainability is very important, but it is important also to put passion in these topics to create. My background is football. I was a CEO of a football clubs. I was a CEO from Italian Football Federation. And when I realized that we miss a part, very important part of the impact on civil society in football, I decided to focus 5 years of my career in this area. And today I am very proud where sustainability is in European football and across the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Michele, for sharing your vision.
Thank you, Michele.
I'm very happy. I'm not plastic bottle.
Yes, exactly. By the way, welcome to the Q&A part of this element. Full transparency here at the World Football Summit. Who's your football team? I know you've been a CEO of a club, Michele, but who's your football team? And you only have to choose one.
It's a long story. I was born in AC Milan.
AC Milan is the
AC
team?
Milan. But I was a CEO of Parma for 5 years. I was the CEO of Lazio for 2 years. My coach was Ancelotti in Parma, Mancini in Lazio.
Wow.
I was a CEO of Italian Football FA, where the coach was Antonio Conte. Honestly, I miss my single passion for one club. Now I'm in the best position. I love football. I love to watch football, to attend football matches. And
if you chose one, just one.
Parma.
Parma.
Yeah.
I'm Napoli.
The first love is, but Antonio Conte is also a close friend of mine. I'm very happy that Naples.
Okay,
is
that's the full transparency out of the way. Marhaba, good to have you here. Now, I want to ask you, I watched your presentation, as we all did here. I've got a couple of questions to pick out from your presentation, Michele. First of all, UEFA as a body, as an organization, how powerful is that force to fulfill all of these strategies? How important is that force to fulfill all of these ambitions that you have?
It was a very important step at the beginning. When the President, Alexander Chefin, asked me to join the role of a executive director of sustainability, I told him, we cannot do nothing alone. We need to engage our members, our clubs, our leagues, our fans, our coaches, our players. We need to engage, we need to work with them. We need to engage the full community. We forced a little bit because we changed the regulations. We changed the regulation with the NAs, as I mentioned before. If you want the UEFA fund, you need to appoint one manager. You need to have the strategy. You need strategy approved by your bond member. You need to. We forced a little bit. We forced a little bit the clubs. At the beginning, the first year was a little bit.
You got resistance, did you?
Resistance.
Were all the clubs the same, or did you find different resistance?
No. We find differences. It's Europe. I think is Asia. There is a different culture across Europe. There is north, east, west, south. There is a different approach. We leave to each national association, each club, to adapt the sustainability strategy at the domestic level in their own community. In this case of the clubs, we say, this is the track. This is the common framework. You need to adapt. You need to tailor-made sustainability approach in your community, in your nation, in your area, because we need to respect also the culture of each population.
So you built flexibility into the program?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So how do you integrate all of these strategies? Because at the end of the day, I've grown up with UEFA for many, many years. Primarily their function was organizing football competitions. How do you marry these strategies with putting on the basic requirement of UEFA, which is putting on a Champions League final or a Europa League final or whatever?
Yeah, it was challenging also with my colleagues at the beginning, but it's of course my previous role of UEFA president helped me a lot in terms of relation internally. Now, as I mentioned, that for each event the sustainability is embedded with the 3 pillars: environmental, social, and governance is there. Also now my colleagues are super happy to take part of the process. Okay, if I go back 4 years, 5 years, was a big challenge. Now is a reality, and I'm super proud that a lot of national associations, a lot of clubs, small clubs, big clubs, also amateur clubs, are asking us support, and they are inspiring each other in terms of how to approach concretely, how to land sustainability on the pitch. On the pitch means on the stand. On pitch, also on the mobility is a very broader concept. That is.
Being an executive of a number of football clubs, did you put that hat on when you were building out this strategy and say, what would I think? What would I feel if I was the CEO of Parma or wherever? Did that come into your thinking?
Always. This was probably an advantage for me, because with a couple of clubs, I was also commissioner of Italian League, Serie A League. I was also CEO of Italian Football League. I had the different angle, the different angle of football. You need to do something that is concrete. Is a concrete approach, focus on the actions. You cannot ask to go to the moon. You cannot ask to be greener, to be the greenest company or the greenest sport in the world. You need to go to reach step by step with a concrete strategy and concrete targets your journey. I think it was very helpful to have experience what a club, but it's important that the clubs talk with this community, their own community. It can inspire the actions, not only if you want to attend a match. I need to go attend the match with the public transportation. Now, in Germany, 81% of the ticket holders participate to the matches using public transport over smart mobility. In the last Women's Euro, this is a premiere. 85% of the spectators joined the matches with the public transportation or with the walking or by bicycle. We need to try to inspire our fans, our players, to use the same system also during the day life.
So you think you can persuade the players?
I go to the office with the same system that I am going to attend the match.
A player driving to training or to a game in a G-Wagon, you think you can change that mentality? Or would you say driving to a game in an electric G-Wagon might be the way forward? I can't see a player abandoning his G-Wagon.
You have some panels with a legend in the coming hours. You can ask directly them. But I'm feeling that a lot of them are starting to understand that they have a big platform. That football is a big platform, and they are the best ambassador also to drive positive change. We cannot reach the target in 1 year, in 2 years. We cannot change the mentality. But I think that the new generation, Yamal, is part of our nutrition documentary, because it try to inspire the young generation to say we need to eat well. We need to take in consideration nutrition is important. This is why I mentioned before, sustainability is not only the environmental part, but also is the social, the human rights part, because they talk each other. I'm sure that in the coming years, the topic will growing, the consideration, the knowledge, the understanding also from the player and the coaches will grow and will inspire also the base of the pyramid.
You've got so many areas that you're hitting with these strategies. I wanted to talk about one that I saw you talking about there, mental health. Now, my mental health has been challenged in the last couple of weeks with the Alexander Isak to Newcastle United to Liverpool saga, so I'm struggling with my mental health. But no, seriously, mental health is a big talking point at the moment. Why and what was your focus on that particular zone, that particular initiative?
Yeah, in our TK program, we have 6 modules. I think that all the 6 modules are linked each other, because physical activity is linked to nutrition, nutrition is linked with mental health, digital addiction with the young generation is linked with mental health. Also in this case, the six modules of Take Care, they talk each other, they are super complementary.
Connected.
Connected. What we can do, it's important, the role of, in this case, of the coaches and the parents, because they are the first door of our children.
The first
Influence. They need to understand. They need to watch deeply what the children are doing, what is the challenge, what is the situation, and football could be one of the antidote. Also for digital addiction. I'm the father of a 13 years old boy. He's a new generation. He used the device, but when
who's he going to play for?
But he's going to play football or make judo. He totally forgot. He's mobile. He think how to play better, how to deal with the teammates, how to win, how to lose. And in this case, probably football and sports in general could be a big antidote to mental health, but also digital addiction, nutrition, and other. We are the largest platform in the world. We feel it. And we need to take the responsibility together, not only the UEFA organization, but also media, influencer, players. All together, I think one step up, all together, will create a big change.
Who do you want him to play for, your boy? Which club do you want him to play?
It's a small club in Switzerland. He's a USCS Tersan.
AC Milan one day. AC Milan one day.
No.
Sorry, Parma.
I don't know.
Parma.
It's, Parma probably.
Parma one day.
Buffon is probably his idol.
Come on then. Give me out of all those initiatives, give me the one that that's been most successful for you, or the one that you're most proud of.
I'm proud when some NAs or some presidents of NAs or some clubs call me and to say, thank you, Michele, to inspire us. No, Michele, thank you, UEFA, to inspire us, because you are giving us a big energy, a big power to talk with our community in a different way that is very, very engaging for all.
You mentioned community there. Now, one of the biggest accusations in modern football, and it's sad actually, is that football clubs are becoming more detached from their communities. The players are superheroes, they don't engage enough, the clubs don't engage enough. Where does that community strategy come in to what you're talking about and connecting with the clubs and connecting with the leagues?
I think sustainability is the bridge, is the perfect bridge for clubs, for national association to talk with their fans. Because you go in day-by-day life. In this case, you can try to inspire them and to close the distance. I think this was when I was in Parma, was my first impression. We need to reduce the wall. We need not to create a wall between community and the team. We need to create engagement. In Parma was super easy because it was a small city, nice city in Italy, very, very warm with all the players. In Lazio, for example, was more difficult because is Roma teams, and Roma is also the challenge. We have two big teams in Serie A, but to talk with your community, I think that the bridge of sustainability can support and can help you to reduce the distance and to engage the community in your values. Sustainability means values.
And one of the other topics that I wanted to pick out from your presentation was, I noticed the online abuse element. It's a big topic right now, right around the world, with politics, news, everything that's going on the planet. Now, football, as we all know, everyone sitting in this room, is a very emotional sport. Win and lose in particular. At the end of the game, the final whistle, we all have that emotion. The online abuse, how are you tackling that? Because surely that's very difficult from a UEFA perspective, because you go across many countries and social media platforms go across many countries.
Yeah, long story, but I keep it short. Starting from, I'm sorry with all the English people in the room, including you. The idea to create the online abuse platform, starting from at the end of the Euro 2020, where Italy won in the final in Wembley. You know, there was...
It was a mistake.
There was two players that didn't score the penalty, and there was
racial abuse.
Racial abuse online, and say we need to do something. And immediately after, we create with a big company, German company, Athletia, the platform according with the social media platform. We create this platform that for all UEFA events, we have a platform that have a monitoring all the abuse that are online, and in some case we are also we denounce this to the prosecutor and to the police. Wow. Now all the UEFA events are monitoring with this platform, and helpful also. The clubs and national association are trying to use different platforms, the same platform, different platform for their domestic game, because it's very important to deal and to try to protect our game from the abuse that normally are abused. But there is the other face of the medal, and Lucy Bronze, from fantastic European champions player of the English national team, women's England national team, also did recently say the players are not obliged to stay on the social media.
So it works both ways.
Yes, we need to both ways. It is important to, if we want to stay in the social media, you know that is a risk. UEFA clubs and national association must protect their players, but on the other hand,
you can't be the police.
Exactly. Exactly.
And did you find that the tech companies or the social media companies were supportive?
Super.
In what you were doing?
Super supportive.
Right from the beginning?
From the beginning, because they remove the posts. They can remove the post, and they are removing the post. The post that we call a tier 1, that is the most
abusive.
Yes, abusive.
Because sometimes the social media companies themselves will say, hey, look, we are not the police. It's not our responsibility, we are not the police.
Not in this case. We are working very close with them, and we are happy also to create a dedicated platform, also to inspire also the other, but to inspire also the new generation how to use the social media. I think also in this case, football could be a good best practice, a good example, a good platform to send this message.
So coming back to the clubs quickly, influencing their behavior, what is the reward mechanism with them to implement all of these strategies that you're talking about? Do you have like a reward mechanism, or have they just been on board right from day one?
No, it's we changed the regulations. Now in the UEFA club licensing system, is mandatory for each club to have the manager. For the first period was the manager, and then we asked to have the strategy approved, and then is mandatory to have the action plan. This is creating a community of more or less 700 sustainability managers across European football. We have online courses, regular meeting with all the clubs, with the national association and leagues, because they can inspire each other, they can work each other, they can show also the best practice, they can work in different countries also with a small engagement of small clubs. I think I feel now that the community is really super engaged to try to create the best environment possible for their fans, for their community, and for their football. Okay.
Michele Uva, thank you very much for your time, and thank you as well for joining us on this panel this afternoon.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Michele and Joe, for the insightful conversation about how football can impact the world for the positive.